webs. Yes, so yes, it looks like we are. So, interesting. I don't know if we could do that anymore, right? They may have changed that. But, all right. Yes, good, good, good. Oh, Dino is here. Hello, Dino. Oh, let me give you an invite. Wait for Kronos. Wait for Kronos. Well, we could do that. And hello, Elizabeth W. and Extreme Finger. Yes, a very interesting day yesterday. I don't know that we want to talk a whole lot about that here. Just with demonetization and other things, I don't know if we want to go down it. Better times and places to talk about it. Okay, well, I guess those that are maybe watching later, Asa here. Oh, good. Hello, young Sheldon. What is that? Oh, okay. I am looking to see people getting ready here. And Arno is here. Oh, yeah, and I know who everyone is wearing some of the things. That hopefully is better right now. Still haven't been hearing much. Do you know Arno? Can you speak?
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can speak.
Okay,
Hello.
okay, now I'm hearing you guys.
Good. What battle rating are we going to be playing?
Arno asked for 3-3 Americans. I don't know if you can get something close to that. Do you know?
Yeah, I have my normal American setup here. Let's see. That should work. I don't have anyone exactly there, but I'm not too low.
Okay. Well, we're not going to play this all
So,
day. We're going to, do 3 missions or something.
so
Let's say America today in
Uh,
support of Trump.
no. Well, we're going to play other stuff too. I think. But
let me
okay.
see.
You want to make a stream since you're doing Spanish Civil War on your last one?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to play France. I have France 3-3, and they're both allies.
Yeah, that's good. I think we can do that. Okay, there's Alondu. Let me get him an invite.
Loading in, so it won't take
Yeah,
long.
won't take long. Good.
Besides, most of my French here
It's all
are
brand
American
spanking new here,
anyway.
so
Yeah, well, good to hear you got a new computer. Yeah, it's been a while since I was doing the Spanish Civil War in the BS game.
yes, gamer was alive back then.
Yeah, so the legend says, but yes. Well, Next time, I'm going to just start playing a mission and not wait for people. Come on, people. Get ready.
Coming, don't worry, gamer. Don't worry.
Fine if you guys join on the second mission. It's not like I don't want you here. Exactly the opposite. But we gotta get this in here. We gotta keep the people entertained. They'll all leave because they get tired looking at a picture of a bushed up Sherman. Okay.
Or
Okay.
no.
Okay. Now it's Arno who needs to accept the invite.
Almost done, gamer.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Where's that fucking...
See, Arno's going to now be playing so much better because you have a better computer.
Sure.
Oh, I think that's part of it, Arno. Because I know stepping up my computer over different steps has made my gameplay better. And I don't think and this was a few years ago, I don't think I was any better a player. I think it was just the computer and whatnot, different peripherals that made it just a little bit. Each step was just a
there.
small step better. And hello,
I am ready, my lord.
Erwin Flofer. Is that how you pronounce that? Okay, well, yeah, you're here. You did that
God,
already,
I
but
have to restart. The anti-cheaters is coming up again.
okay. Well, I'm going to kick Arno.
No, I'm loading in already again.
Oh, well. Yes. Little L3 isn't. Yes, the little L3 is in the game. I can quickly show you here. Let's go down to, what is it, 1-0. Italy, well, there we are. L333. Got some bushes on it. Some people hide the whole thing under bushes. Looks like a little bush sitting out in the field. Now it's the one with the what is it? Is it a 20 millimeter? Yeah, 20 millimeter autocannon, not the little machine gun version. These were rare, but did exist. I'm playing on 20. I'm playing on a 2023. Everything is better. Yeah. Or 2013. Yeah. Fiercer than a tiger. Yeah. For Italy, for Italy's capabilities, of course, Italy should never have joined in World II. But for Italy's production capability, it's sort of the thing to have. They just couldn't produce very many things.
That is true.
Okay, Arno, when are you here?
I'm loading in now. I'm on the loading screen.
Yeah.
Didn't have that problem when I tested it, actually. It's weird.
Okay. There we go. Let's go. Winter. Well, I'm going down the left side of the. And let's see. I'm going into an M10. Everybody's going down the left side for some reason, which is rare. Yes, Elizabeth, the pack of steel didn't do Italy any favors. They're there is no good reason for Italy to enter World War One. There is no good reason for Italy to enter World War Two. I understand again, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he said I forget he was talking to what historian, I forget the historian, who said this: the past is a foreign country, or words very close to that effect. And I had heard that before. They thought they were great power when they were a middle high one. Well, yeah, I don't even know if they were that. I mean, yeah, they were greater power than, I don't know, Bulgaria or Albania. Italy was, but and so we had a bit of a discussion of definitely modern people, but even a lot of modern historians trying to judge the past by today's standards, including sort of moral ones, and the desire to have empire, the desire, which is one thing, a desire to simply have your country bigger territories, possibly bigger populations, to protect it from dangers, and that is, quite honestly, that both things are very real and potentially very useful. Now, they also potentially can be very damaging, because instead of a coherent single culture, oh shit, who's running it? Oh, god damn. This idiot.
Hello.
Hey, Eric. This idiot runs into me, so I can't kill this thing that he's dealing with. God damn. Okay, got him. So, like I say, we were talking about this. So, yeah, I know people like today, oh, well, you're conquering territories and whatnot, that's bad. Well, that's sort of been what, humanity has done since, I don't know, the beginning of humanity. So I don't judge negatively the idea, the world the way it was. Because the world the way it was that's what it was. It's not, it's just, it's not something for me to go, oh, these were terrible people or whatever. No. Now, it's their behavior, I can judge that. So, but what does Italy want? I mean, yes, it's territorial conquest out of World War One, but they had already liberated themselves from Austrian domination, which definitely was a thing that they had to concern themselves with prior. Something just took out my transmission. Let's see it. Okay. Where is he? Oh, there he is. There is somebody. Well, I just took the martyr's gun out. There's something else we can destroy. There's a T-34 down there, be careful, as well as a martyr. The martyr's teeth are drawn. Something else. Okay, I got the T-30, or yeah, T-34. Okay, something, aircraft. I think Italy was banking on the collapse of France as, yes, they were in World War II. Absolutely. Mussolini sees Paris about to fall, and so he joins the war because he thinks once Paris falls, a peace conference there, and possibly with Britain, or Britain is going to fall fairly soon, and he'll gobble up territories. And I mean, yeah. How do I look at this? How should I? Oh, somebody on B. Okay, let me put artillery there, and I'm gonna head towards B. You do have, again, like I say, the past is foreign country, so you have to try. I very much try to, as a historian, try to view things from the viewpoints of the participants. So, if I get a good visual, okay, we look like what is that? What did I just? Oh, 234 didn't do well enough. Yeah, they think the war's almost over, so they're jumping in. But it seems very, very much. I'm gonna come in another M10. That they don't pay attention to history. And it's a good view things from their time, modern value. Yes, and the values change. So, I have to look at Spain in this same time period. It's a right wing country.
Oh, I
Now
see movement here. Hey, wait a minute. Where the fuck is my...
You probably have to remap it. With your new computer, your quad marker. I need to remap mine. So, Spain, Franco, realizes that Spain is in no shape to enter a war. It just got done with a civil war. Now it's in a worse shape, clearly, than Italy. And even before the Civil War, it wasn't as strong a economic military power as Italy. But still, they realize that they shouldn't. It isn't going to joining the war isn't going to get them, which Hitler is trying early on. Something like Gibraltar, which Spain still has
I'm gonna head out again though, but I'll have the stream up in the background.
Okay, Eric. So, there is, and Spain could have even gotten the war slightly earlier than when Hitler's asking them to, like Italy does. Yes, I see you, Orlando. In trying to get like French Morocco as part of their territory. So they could have done that, but they're smart and they stay out of it. The one thing they do grab up is literally like the day Paris falls is the free city of Tangier. It's sort of one of these League of Nations creations that they occupy. With military force. I'm getting shot from the front, Orlando. Kill them wherever they are. I don't know. What? Oh, next to the building, I think. No, that didn't hit anything. See a shadow. No, that's just a part of the building. Oh, there's someone. At it. Oh, he's peeking. Yeah. Oh, okay. See if I can get over on him. And I hit no damage. He's getting pounded. There, so. And so, yeah, it's, you know, in World War I, you have Italy, which is part of the central powers, but they sort of take the German and Austrian actions as being aggressive when it particularly comes to Russia and France. And so but I think it's to a point it's realpolitik. Just go, yeah, we don't want to get into this war. It's not going to be good. And then, yes, I think they think that if they get into the war against Austria, they're going to grab up some territory. And obviously they do, quite a bit of territory. Now, the issue there is how many lives are worth the territorial gain. You know, territory can be forever, you know, for your country, and people's lives are short. But if you wreck, you know, if you have, I don't know, 500 or 5,000 people die and you get a fairly big city like Trieste, well, okay, it's probably worth 5,000 people. If you get it and can hold it for, 100 years, and it's that kind of thing. You know, it's a brutal calculus, but it's real. But they should have, and I presume they were, observing what was going on in World War II. Hello, Felipe. Observing what was going on in World War I already, and how hard the fighting was, and the costs and lives and everything else. And they still decide to get in, where they, Austria and Germany weren't so stupid as to want to add another
Orlando, who's knocked out.
Another opponent to their.
Behind you, Orlando.
Yeah, yep, Felipe. I'm not going to discuss it too much. The events happening yesterday, just for demonetization. Talk about it more on the Discord server if you want. I think that's a little better place for it.
Oh, let's just say it turned out well.
Well, people lost their lives. One of the audience.
For him, I mean, not for the people, of course not.
Yeah, and at least I think one or two, I'm not sure, but at least one other's in the hospital that's critical. Yeah.
But what I tried to say is, imagine what would have happened if it did happen.
Oh yeah, and it's serious. But so look at that calculus. How big does Royal Italy need to be a sufficiently organized country, and gaining bits of the Dalmatian coast and whatnot? Does that make them that much more secure? Yeah, I know they grab up some of what becomes the Italian Alps or whatever, the Creole area, but yeah. So Italy is, really sort of badly damaged by it. And then in World War II, yes, even more so, Mussolini is just trying to jump in at the end of the war. Hello. Okay, gotta keep moving. We were hit, but keep moving faster. We're backing up. Oh, we're going forward. Oh, we're running out. Damn. Got a guy right touching me.
Damn.
And he got me.
All
Damn,
right,
he was
I'm
good.
back.
You're back. And when you can't even, muster up Well, let's try this. See what this looks like. You know, your army is in such poor shape. Maybe, okay, whatever. That you decide to go into World War II like a. Yeah. Oh yeah. Felipe, I don't think it's going to happen this year or anything. But yeah, China is watching that very closely. I mean, hell, Germany shouldn't have. And Germany knows it shouldn't start World War II. Hitler gambles that the Western Allies are not going to fight for Poland. He gambles that.
Are they gonna beat?
And he knows that his gamble fails, and oh shit, okay. And I'm not doing so well. Talking too much, probably. It's strange that they were harsh with the peace deal of World War One, but left their allies so. If you're talking about Italy, well, yeah, after a fashion. You know, a lot of people in, retrospective. Oh yeah, that was quite funny. I mean, he recovers a few seconds later, but still. On the Zelensky Putin thingy that Biden did. See if we can find that flat 18. You know, German. You know, like I say, Hitler gambles. He rolls the dice badly. Obviously, it's not a dice roll because people made the judgment call. It's not like any sort of luck on it. And so he's stuck with that war. And sure, he's looking for any sort of allies eventually, but I guess this comes down to who do you want to have for your political leaders. Flash 18 got me again. I looked for him. I didn't see him. Where was he? Should have looked before. Oh, he's behind the bus over there. Okay, well. Hey. I had one professor whose thesis, because he was international, relations, his thesis was that all wars start because of miscalculations. In so much as, and I disagree with his basic theory, is that wars wouldn't happen if nations calculated correctly. In that, are the World War II French planes bad? No, not so bad. I'm not a big aviation guy, Felipe, to know well. The big problem with France is, we got best squad, and except for the first tank life, I did pretty poorly. Was the reason they did so bad? The French did was their lack of ground coordination of various squadrons all working together to dominate the skies. They were sort of like independent squadrons doing each their own thing or their own area. But no, I'm sort of disjointed right now, jumping over topics. That his thesis was that if let's just say the idea that if Belgium, in 1918, if Belgium understood that Germany was going to use crushing military force, well, it wouldn't fight to defend itself because it would have no chance of winning. That would be because he believed, he was obviously leftist because all political science type professors are leftists. That he believed, so that's a miscalculation on Belgian side that they should just give in. The other sort of miscalculation would be you think you're going to go in and crush an enemy and you miscalculate their willingness to fight or other allies' willingness to fight. Well, no, I don't see that as any sort of truism. I think Napoleon and his enemies often realize that they're going to fight. They may not, either or both sides may be very, very unsure about who's going to be victorious, but they'll fight anyways, even if they know they're going to lose. So it isn't a miscalculation that wars happen, but Hitler definitely miscalculates, on what's going to happen with the, invasion of Poland. And, if you look at the later invasion, Barbarossa invasion of Russia, yes, Hitler miscalculates not the willingness to fight, I don't believe, of the Soviets so much, but their ability to fight. Now, I know he says, or words to these effects, Hitler, that, kick the door in, it'll fall like a house of cards or something like that. We're speaking of the Soviet Union.
I know.
That he, and is that a miscalculation on what the Soviet? No, I don't think so. I think it had the German army been able to sustain its initial offensive, the Soviet Union would have collapsed quickly, like France did. But because of the size and the scale of the Soviet Union and the Soviet army, and Germany's army is set up to fight the French well, which is much closer to hand, logistically and whatnot, that he's unable to do it. So yeah, maybe it's more than kick the door in. You got to kick all the doors in the house in, and he can only kick in the first 2 or 3, but not all 7 or 8 of them, or whatever the calculated number might sort of be. Okay, let's right there. Oh, I hit you in the track. Okay. Critical. Got your transmission and some of your crew. Looks Swedish. And you're destroyed. And so, yes, there are, because there's always miscalculations in every war. But because you can look early on in Barbarossa, where the Germans are capturing millions of men, basically units intact. And so, yeah, they are kicking the door in, and the house of cards is collapsing. They just can't sustain that level of operations to keep doing it. So, would and here's another good example to prove his theory wrong. Japan knows it can't defeat the U.S., but it still goes to war with it because it is hoping that if it just it's gambling, and it knows it's gambling, that if it can just sink the big American fleet at Pearl Harbor, then America will negotiate not a surrender, but a peace of some sort. and they gamble on sinking the fleet. They fail, but they knew they were gonna. It was a gamble either way. Now, of course, America wasn't going to give in, and even some of the high-level Japanese knew that they weren't going to give in, but they were losing a war anyways, and they saw their only possibility of survival, if you will, in doing this. So yeah, they failed. Right. Keep it to here. Game is rigged. Okay, I want to get planes in War Thunder, but I can't dogfight well. Yeah, I don't dogfight well at all, Lipe. So do you mouse calculation? Well, yeah, yes. There's all we're always miscalculating everything. Okay, yeah, we can see some I don't know, cool table trick shot artists or something that in a situation that isn't because a lot of those trick shots are all set up. The balls are all placed perfectly in one thing, and they hit it, and it goes through the being bounced off the sides of the pool table and off certain balls, and it goes in. But even when they're not pre-set up shots, yeah, once in a while they somebody calculates the perfect shot, and it works. But we're constantly miscalculating everything. So to go, miscalculation if you're going to win or you lose, no. There's many cases in which, whether it's or the defender will fight anyways, whatever the odds are, even if they know they're going to lose. And there's many cases in which the aggressor knows the defenders are going to fight, and again, is talking to my friend, yes, it would be great if historians ruled the world, because at least they have a familiarity with what's done in the past. But still, a lot of political leaders know that, hey, yeah, once in a while the small guy wins, and it's it's going all the way back to I forget the classical Greece. One of the Greek kings asks the oracle at Delphi, what's going to happen if I declare war on my enemy?
Wasn't that Croesus?
You could be. Yeah, I don't. And the answer was, a great empire will fall. Now it turned out to be his empire, and now I don't know that. I don't believe that the Oracle of Delphi was some sort of magical or whatever, seer. But I think they realized, well, one side or the other is going to fall, and they keep it sort of cryptic. And so, yeah, we can know that we don't know the outcome. So I reject his thesis as being wrong, as well as being, yes, people make miscalculations all the time or whatever. So yes, Italy's making miscalculations as to when the wars are going to end, and are they going to benefit from them, and what's the cost going to be. But even there, I guess maybe it's a lack of self-awareness that they don't. I'm at my secret mountain base right now. I turned to look at my bookshelf, which isn't there right now. But I have a book called Iron Fist that I've read. I don't know, about a third of it so far. that covers Italy's armored development of its division. So yeah, and how poorly it was going and things. So some of the people were self-aware at the time that Italy's armed forces just are not modernized enough, but they should have been able to look at and see how mechanized Britain was, how mechanized France was. Yes, I know France was falling when Italy comes in, but still, how that is all set up, and realize if we join this war now, we're just not ready for it. And if you're going to go and again, my big thesis, and I'll get to what is it, Bum Glosso or whatever. I'm sorry. Comment just a moment. That if you're going to war, the outcome is always uncertain. So you better be ready for it, or you better not play unless you're attacked and are defending yourself. Okay. What does Bum say? Gamer, is there another game like Gary Grigsby with historical order of battle out there? I miss that in Hearts of Iron 2 and 3. I don't know that there's anything really like Gary Grigsby's out there other than his work that he's done. Not one of you. I don't like all that Black Ice for 3 has done recently, and I haven't been playing it in over a year, so I don't know how it's changed for the better or for the worse. Yeah, Hoi 4 is not the well. It depends on how. If you're looking at truly a Gary Grigsby's historical, no, there isn't. Oh well, yes, there is one. World in Flames. You can get World in Flames. I don't know. It's expensive. You can only play it with other people. There is no AI. It is a very detailed game. It started out and still is a huge tabletop game. I remember going to games.
Yeah, the one which plays in the Pacific.
Well, it's global. World in Flames. So that yes, there's Pacific.
All right, then I'm mistaking with another game. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean it does have a Pacific component for sure. But I remember going to a convention, and instead of having the map flat, it was not straight up, not straight up and down as a wall, but sort of canted, and it had a metal backing, and the counters had magnets glued to them, partially so people could see them, but also because the map is so big, trying to reach across the table is difficult. And when you're playing with a full thing, and it is very, very detailed, very, very historical, very, very slow kind of a game. If there is a computer version of it, I've thought about, but just loosely thought about playing it. But it is, like I say, the big problem is that there is no AI. So you have to find a human opponent and play when they do, or it maybe turn-based, so you could do play by email, but still. And as designed, and I think designed well, both Hoi and 3 and 4 shouldn't have too much silly mechanics, people revolting against the Fuhrer in 1936, because yes.
Yeah,
Okay, Bum. I don't know where you're talking. See that which black ice you're seeing that is. Maybe that really isn't a thing that I've encountered in black ice. You were going to say, do you know?
That I am not a big fan of the way the like German alternate or like many alternate focus tree paths are handled, because they usually quite a few of them would have much ways they could do them, but they don't. For example, in Germany, that would be plausible to have like a coup against Hitler, but not in 1936.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
it should be in 1938. They should do it with the whole Sudeten crisis thing.
right. Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay. Yeah, and it's sort of to a point. You gotta, the black ice. I don't know that there's a black ice doing that in 36. And if you're talking about Hoi 4 generic game, their focus tree is crazy. So I don't like that. World in Flames seems really great. Sad. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's the reason there's no AI is that it would be really expensive to um, to make the AI, and the game's never going to sell enough to make its money back. So when one of you wins the super lottery somewhere and has, $20 million to blow or $50 million to blow on a game, yeah, buy the game and have
Only
pay
if you test it.
and have have somebody create the AI for it. But it's not going to happen. But conceptually, I still, and just because my life has sort of turned upside down relatively recently, and so I really, really want to play another. I want to play two more campaigns. Come on, guys, figure out your nations and get ready up. You're going jumping around. I don't care terribly much, but just pick one and let's go. After this, we'll go over to Germany or something.
Or higher tier US or something.
Well, we'll leave other people behind, but and not enough of us are playing US to make it worthwhile. I would
Or
rather
allies,
play. I would rather play
Britain,
Germany.
Sweden.
I would rather play Germany or Arno.
Oh,
So,
but 50 cals.
yeah, I know. Let's see.
Left or right spawn?
I'm going on the left side.
Roger, I'll follow.
I really want to play Hearts of Iron 3, a solo game with. I don't know exactly what version of Black Ice. They keep updating it, and I haven't been following the stuff. But I want to update my mods and some of the other mods to all, and if they get the right updates, and I sort of, like I say, I have not been paying attention, and play that, and then I would love to play a big multiplayer. Each get people who have good connections and you got to have a good computer. Because just the way that they pushed everything. They've cleaned up a lot of the problems from Hoi 4, but even though they've cleaned up a lot of the code, they've added so much more that it really takes a lot of horsepower to play it. Otherwise, it just would go too slow on a multiplayer game. I would love to play those two games for a series, as well as just doing it for myself. But conceptually, you're talking about historical orders of battle. Conceptually, and this is what I actually like about Hearts of Iron, either 3 or 4, is that you don't have the exact historical orders of battle because you're playing from a higher level. Gary Grigsby's War in the West or War in the East is you're a theater commander and there's some, headquarters or political decisions above you that periodically pulls some divisions to go fight. If you're playing War in the East, to go fight in Sicily, or if you're playing War in the West, we're getting ready for Operation Citadel. They pull some divisions. No, you're deciding from the high level, and you're deciding things like production, unit formation. Do you? Oh shit. Okay. There you are. gotcha. But you're okay. Your crew is crew's out. You're moving. Your gun, your engine's out. Man, it's taking 3 shots, but you're and so
Got him.
good, good. So
You okay?
yeah, I'm good. And so, do you want to make Panzer divisions with 1 battalion of Panzers, or Panzer divisions with 4 battalion of Panzers? And so, even if you are still running at the same, historical levels of production for Panzers, shall we say, well, how do you want to organize your army up? Do you want a lot more? And if you're making enough trucks, for motorization to motorize your infantry, so do you want a lot of in essence, motorized infantry divisions with a Panzer battalion attached to them? Or do you want a bunch of, like the Germans did do, Licht divisions, which are really sort of reinforced motorized armored brigades that are good? Oh, we're getting from the left, but don't have sustainability for losses. That okay? The Martyrs gun crew is out. So that part of they're able to fight well, but once they've taken enough losses, they've got to be pulled off the line and reinforced, where a division can sustain the losses and keep operating longer. So you have those higher level of choices of how you're organized.
Mark the Puma.
Okay, how you're organizing up your army, how you're organizing up your production. Do you want to produce more aircraft, or you want to produce more submarines or something? So it may limit your
Yeah, focus on submarines, no big ships. Such a
yeah, or whatever. But whether it's steel or whether it's in different engine type production or whatever, and however well the games do or don't do, both Hearts of Iron 4 and Hearts of Iron 3 do certain things better than the other version. I would love sort of a combo version between the two, but
yeah, and so you can buy ships, for example, from other nations, like in Hoi 2.
right, and some of that stuff would be good, but it's it's, in my opinion, it's better that you don't have exactly, and you can in both versions, with whether maybe not so much the base game, but modded. Got the Swedish guy.
Nice, thank you.
You can do historical units, kind of thing. Often the famous ones, if you wanted to put them together. So Panzer 4 here, take out his commander. And so I like that. I do like the supply system in Hoi 4. Railways are cool. Yes, that's much improved. Again, with all the improvements in 4, there's still the national focus tree, which I think is a bit nutty, and I have only at best limited favorability of it. And I don't like the way it's running.
From the left, gamer, watch out.
So, like I say, I can't really talk about modern Black Ice, current Black Ice, or whatever. A year or two ago, I did sort of like it, and a few things I didn't like, and I was trying to correct them. But it was just taking a lot of leg work, or typing work, or whatever you want to call. They were being helpful in sort of their AI programming to make what I wanted to do work, but I just got overwhelmed, and the one person who was helping me sort of got overwhelmed too, and there wasn't somebody that was good enough that could figure it out enough of what I wanted to do on their own without me almost having to do it all for them anyways. Okay, what I was thinking about creating a mod for Hoi 3 with historical order battles and events and semi-historical experience, but with flexibility to define your own strategy. Okay. Don't. Just don't. you're going to it's going to be a bigger project than you think. So yeah, don't. The only thing that's worth playing or worth modding off, in my opinion, with Hoi 3 is Black Ice. Again, I didn't like some of their major design decisions, and I was trying to work around them. But it just takes a lot more time than you can possibly imagine. Because I've created, I don't know if you know, Third Reich events for Black Ice as a submod. And, well, at least 80% of the work I've done myself. I mean, I did get help, but still with that help, I did most. Well, more than half. And all I was really focusing on were events and their effects for Germany, with a little bit of other stuff around the edges. What even is a good Italian World War II tank? Well, I just, what did you like the best is sort of the thing. Not that it's what's your favorite one. Favorite one doesn't necessarily mean good. Favorite is just like, hey, you like this. You know, not that you want to go fight a war in it, or that you think it's better than other people. Hello, Zach Hall. Good to have you here. I open Black Ice and then I see Infra Wall in Manchuria, and I just close the game. Okay, now some of the choices are designed in Black Ice, and I agree with them, are designed to deal with the AI. Okay? And this is what a lot of people talk about. Yeah, well, I mean, none of them, because none of them have welded armor. And riveted armor is not a good design choice by the time you get to World War II. You know, World War I is still maybe the thing to do, but by the time you're in World War II, no, it is no longer a good idea. The P-40 is sort of their last sort of hurrah, and even then it's a little too late for it.
P-40 is pretty good, right?
Yeah, but again, it's riveted armor. It has decent amount of thickness. I guess maybe a decent engine, but not necessarily good comparable to others at the time. And it has a decent gun. And oh yeah, it's the Germans who capture and use them, because they're not even there for the Italians to use them by the time they leave the war. So yeah, it's. But back, if you keep having the China war going on, like historically for Japan, and you have an AI playing as Japan, you'll never have a decent Pacific war. Okay, so you either it's too far to shoot it. You either set it up as for you can do it. You can as setting up because of events to change things. You can have it set if human player if player equals human for Japan, you can have one set of events happen, and if you have player equals AI, you can have different sets of events happen, and so if you want Japan to be, Japan will just be too bogged down building too much bad unit to fight in China, and then you have a scripted AI that will declare war against America and then get crushed even faster, rapidly, or because Japan will do things like move all of its garrison units out of all of its islands and put them on the front lines in China. So you need to have China defeated by 1941. and you can talk about your info wall with Russia. Well, the problem is that even though you have sort of peace agreement scripted in between Russia and Japan, like they were historically, Japan will still feel a threat from the Soviet Union, so it will park a lot of premier divisions along the Soviet border up in Manchuria. And then when they really need to be facing off against the Americans and the British. So for an AI Japan to function well, you need to sort of wall off Manchuria as a threat. So I hear what you're saying about an infra wall, but it's not a bad idea. It's dealing with the realities. Now you could, and they don't really have access to that sort of threat AI to program that well enough to say if so long as non-aggression pact exists between Japan and Soviet Union, don't garrison this wall or whatever. That's not doable with the. I know they can't deal with two fronts alone with China, Soviet Union, and a war in the Pacific. Just think some break immersion. Same goes for the way forts are in the mod. Yes, I do agree with you there. And when I've played my games, I don't lower the levels, the levels of forts. I lower the effectiveness of the fort. So it's still a
Gamer, I'll be right back.
okay. It's still a a 5-level fort, or it's still a 10-level fort. I'm not going in and tweaking all that, but I make the effects of the forts for each level less effective. So I tweak some of that with Third Reich events. So yeah, I agree with you on it. So since I mod it, so crazy but true. Yeah. So you the Black Ice people in many ways are dealing with the reality, they're dealing well with the realities of the game that they're presented with. I agree entirely that they are compensating for bad AI by tweaking things like fort levels so that when you run into cities, weak units can hold them out better. One of the good things that that Black Ice does is they make garrison units. You back, Arno? Let's go to Germany 6-0 if you can guys. Yes, Arno is it back. Make garrison units so heavy no ships can move them. So this way, Japan can't move its garrison units off of its islands. But the player has a quick ability to research a tech that lightens garrison units. So if you're a human playing Japan, you can research that tech really easily and then move your garrisons wherever you want. But if it's the AI playing, it won't. I wish, and I asked Paradox for it, and they just had given up on. I even asked them for it. I don't know if they've ever done it in Hoi 4, but I asked them for an immobile unit that can't be moved under any circumstances, SRs or transports or marching, and for whether you wanted like a fortress unit along whether it's the Maginot Line or the West Wall, you could dissolve the unit, but you couldn't move it, or like an island garrison. But my main goal, yeah, 6-0 Germany, if you would. My main goal was to have things like Garrett, party militia. Okay, we'll go in party militia in the Soviet Union that were, or factory militia that were the workers in the factory, and they weren't going to go anywhere unless you destroyed the unit by an event and then recreated a unit in another location by an event. It's like representing moving the factories east. In the face of German advances. So you could script some of that. You know, if Germans get too close to this city, remove this unit, replace the unit and the ICs, you know, in some other location. You know, so you could script some of that, but otherwise it was stuck there because, yeah, there's a division worth of factory militia units, but yeah, no, of course you're not moving away because their day job is to make, you know, aircraft or whatever. It's only on the weekends do they play militia, and if their city's attacked, do they come out and fight? And you could also do that for like Volkstrom units and other things that are like localized city based. Swear to you, one time I encircled Leningrad for a whole year, and hundreds but the city, yeah, like I say, I reduced the effectiveness of forts. They're still effective, but it's, you know, it's because I think it was something like that they went to, I don't know, like 120 or 150%, and I reduce it down to like 80% effectiveness per level. AI has come wonder. Well, AI's come far, but you got to understand the machines it takes to run those modern AIs. It's a lot of. Okay, you're in the rocks over there. Let's see if I can put some artillery over those rocks. And I'm on fire. And my gunner is gone. He's moving out, and I'm not. Okay. Now I'm. Use my body as a shield. Yes, Tiger. I am doing well. No, don't die for me. That I'm not worth saving here. And most people don't have computers that can handle it. Yeah, actual AI. I hope they add more Brazilian vehicles like the M6. Yeah. One thing I would like them to see is the Brazilian Stuart tank that had the 90mm gun that they made. I think it was in the 70s or the 80s.
90mm gun Stuart.
Yeah, they put a new turret on it. I think it was
still.
Yeah. It's.
Wait, wasn't that the M24?
No, not an M24. M24 is
I remember something with an M24 they did.
Well, they did some Stuarts. Pretty sure it was Brazil. Yeah, I get things wrong. Thank you. And I'm getting shot. Yep. I agree. It would be a good idea to have some static divisions that really, yes, and also you could do things like, you know, the British Home Guard, because if you put in the correct order of battle for, let's say, the British Home Guard, which I put in my mod, and I could tell the stories, and I told it a bunch of times, but some other time about my research into the SA militia units that did exist historically. But I put those in for my mod, and a player can abuse them in the sense that use these, and they're crappy units, but you send them out on the front lines or send them to occupy, because there were a few that occupied foreign territory, but most didn't, because a lot of them were like factory workers or something else, their day job, but they were also, you know, SA militia members as well. You know, so a player can choose to abuse it, and I only have it set up if the player is human for Germany to have the whole events that set up the whole SA militia line. So the AI doesn't. But if you were to give the Home Guard to the AI in Britain, the AI would just send it wherever, you know, to North Africa or something. Hello. Okay, let's see.
Ah, got your bitch.
And a player may or may not abuse it, and whether he wants to. But it would be something that would be perfect for static divisions around Britain. So yeah, it's a good idea to have those. And even now, I know it's still getting a lot of players. I know they're still doing a lot of DLCs for it. But what has it been,
Gamer,
5?
under which name is the squad marker?
I don't know, and I haven't even updated my current computer to it. Oh shit! I hit a barrel here that shouldn't exist. Let's see. Hello. I'm more afraid of that Swedish Doom cannon that I just think I took out your breach. So let's see if I can kill this. Oh. No. Artillery in C. There's a band cannon and a T-44. What is it? Is it 6 or 8 years or something that Hoi 4's been out now? It's been out a long time. It's... I don't know if it's actually time to for Hoi 5 to start really becoming a thing. But like I say, I'd like a mix of the two. Some games pretty decent AI most of the time. Paradox titles, I feel like I'm playing against Age of Empires and AI. Well, I haven't been playing a lot of Paradox games in the last couple of years, but games like EU, I think they do the AI pretty well. And when they do Doomstack armies, which is sort of the types of armies that are appropriate for those periods, I think they do all right. It's when you get into more fluid tactical armies. And I had a discussion with the developers way back as in the early days of Hoi 4, before it was released publicly. And the discussion is why don't you script the combat AIs? And one of their answers was, well, replayability. Once you learn the script, well, you just know how to defeat the nation. Okay, then my thing was, well, why don't you give, some sort of WYSIWYG programmable scripts to the player or to modders, and they can come in and program different scripts, and then have a sort of random weighted, which script to use, like for defense plans of France in 1940 or whatever. And I go, well, yeah, that would work, but we're just going to have a good AI. And my response to that is, what in Paradox history makes you think you can have a good AI that does that? Because they've never been able to do so far. And that, I think they felt insulted at that point and stopped talking to me on that topic. So you can talk about the AIs coming a long ways, and it has, but it's still, humans are still better than AIs and planning these things out. They made a South American DLC, but a huge focus on I would have liked tidbits like El Salvador's Axis leanings. Okay, well, this is the other thing that's happened with Paradox and Hoi 4. They have made a rational choice to abandon the wargaming base for Hoi. They made the choice. They looked at, we have this player base of Crusader Kings, EU, and Vicky. What we want is EU for the 20th century, in essence. and so restoring the Ottoman Empire and restoring the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and doing wackadoodle stuff for South America. Yeah, I know Felipe's from South America and he likes that, like some of that stuff, but do wackadoodle, unrealistic stuff makes their player base happy because they want to restore the Holy Roman Empire in the 20th century because yay, that thing. And so yeah, it's like I say, wackadoodle in my opinion. They felt insulted and stopped talking. Yes. So, because they have yet to make a good paradox, a good dynamic combat AI that isn't simply moving a decently weighted collection of cannons, horse, and infantry or something, or whatever the equivalent is for the game, from one province to another. Yeah, they can do that. So they create some sort of combat resolution stuff for something like EU, and then move these different armies around and conquer things. Yes, they can do that reasonably well. But they can't seem to make an AI that has a mountain division, that has traits, whether it's equipment. What?
Aircraft.
Okay. That has organizational traits and equipment trait, mountain division, and then have that division in the mountains. When they actually have like a border regions in Czechoslovakia with mountains, you'll find a mountain division sitting in the plains, and you'll find an armored division sitting in the mountains. They can't even do that. What makes them think they can make a good dynamic AI, combat AI of any type? Now, they might be able to do a good diplomacy AI or a good production AI that will produce based upon whatever sort of formulas, but they have never demonstrated the ability. Now, I'm not an AI programmer. I can't program that stuff in. Now, I could do a little bit, but nothing like they would. Yeah, I don't mind them not appealing to the niche. It's a corporate. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's a niche. I think the strategic military player base is big, and Hearts of Iron, for all of its complexity, is actually rather approachable. A lot more approachable than, say, Gary Grigsby's work. Love Gary Grigsby's work, but like I say, it's not approachable, for a newbie to come in and figure out what's going on. And I think there's a good profit to be made, but it's just their player base is not that.
You coming?
Yeah. Gotcha. There's another aircraft here crashing. Oh no, you didn't crash. Oh, you got him. Oh,
Nice.
you did? Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah, good. And so just for those who have not been around, I'm not really telling any of the secrets from it, but I was part of the the closed beta for Hoi4, so I got in pretty.
The nuke. Oh, gamer, jumping in us.
Yeah.
Ah, got him. This is another one. Got him. Still. There he is.
You just dropped it. Boom.
Oh.
We'll figure out how war in the East. It was so expensive, I was determined to learn it. Yeah, and if either you come from I'm a bit older, so I've come from a tradition of board games, so I have a grasp of those rules, and actually a friend helped me with some of with War in the East 1 and a bit of War in the East 2 to get around some of it. And even then, I'm still just sort of basically scratching the surface with the game. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know. So like I was saying, so I was in the beta for the game, and so I know what was going on back then. And one of the things I was pushing for, well, first let's get the historical, because they were moving. This was early on, obviously, moving to the national focus away from events and decisions. Sort of move back into that a little bit, but let's do the historical ones first, and then do the fantasy ones. Nope, they wanted to do the fantasy ones first. You know, get the base game reality right, and then hey, what if the Kaiser comes back into Germany? Well, how would that be? And the primary reason for having the Kaiser come back into Germany is we can do world conquest without feeling bad about it by being Nazis.
Still find it weirdly really strange that both of the people that were actually considered as possible emperors of Germany, neither of them are possible to have as emperor of Germany in the game.
I'm losing the context on that.
You were talking about the whole whole thing like let's restore the monarchy as Germany and Hearts of Iron.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
yes, and I said that during like different like plots against Nazi rule, there were two people who were proposed as possible new emperors if the coup were to be executed or succeed, and neither of those you can get as the national as leader in the game.
Ah, right, yes. Well, because people don't know them well, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I know I could design, not program, but design a really good grand strategy game. I've had one for World War II. I've had one in my head from before even Hoi 1 was ever made. Again, I'm that old. And I'm not saying it would be easy to do or anything like that, but it would be a glorious grand strategy World War II game that would actually be World War II plausibility. You know.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I like the idea of like you like doing like slightly alternate things, but something I would also really like is if you like go with diff would instead of going for the completely absurd, like yes, let's go ahead and like restore the Persian Empire or something, or the Macedonian Empire or whatever. If instead you were going for more like things like, all right, so we have like the Soviet Union here. Like, are there things they had maybe planned, or things that people who could have like gone to different perspectives or something like, let's see how in what different directions could Germany, even like with the basic like Nazi government, what different directions could they have gone? Are there like different like things and fleshing out things like that, where it's still like alternative stuff, but not as extreme?
Well, yeah, it all depends, yeah, I sort of get what you're meaning. What is a Lincoln? What do you got? I don't know. I don't know what you got. I'm Brazilian. What is a Lincoln? Well, he was a president of the United States. Um,
Or a car.
well, yeah, named after him, but yeah. Really international channel chat here. Yes. Yeah, and over on Twitch we have Felipe, who's also Brazilian. We have two Brazilians here hanging out right now. I've always been fascinated by it. Yeah. Well, to me, I have not gotten anywhere, even through all of my playthroughs of Hoi 3, Hoi 4, all of my head playthroughs of World War II and whatnot, have not gotten tired of re-wargaming World War II at various scales and levels and whatnot. But, we could look at, there was obviously many, you're from Lithuania? Good. Assassination attempts from Hitler. And what would have been the paths? And there are a lot of what ifs. And now I know Dino is well read, and I consider myself very well read on the National Socialist regime and whatnot. But even there, what would have happened? And it depends on when Hitler, is taken out, and not just, the Stauffenberg event, that's sort of way late in the war, because it could be taken out before the war breaks out. But would that mean the National Socialists leave, or simply Rudolf Hess takes over as a weakened but still Führer of Germany, with his sort of right hand man and maybe controlling person, Goring and whatnot? Yes, if we were looking, like you talked earlier about the Sudeten crisis, and I do believe the offer was made to Britain. I forget what, by Hadler or whoever. That
Ulster,
if you
I think.
what?
I think it was like with Ulster or.
Yeah, but the contingency was that the Western Allies had to aggressively push into Germany. If you just sort of like hold on the Maginot Line, we're not doing anything. And of course, the French wouldn't have pushed aggressively into Germany, and Britain was probably incapable of doing that in 1938. So now that's a coup against the Nazi regime, as opposed to just a bomb that, let's say, just takes out, Hitler and a few other people, not all the rest of the Nazi leadership. I think the Nazi leadership would have stayed in power, but maybe weakened without Hitler's personality there. And again, I'm talking right now, prior to the war breakout. Now, let's say Hitler dies after the fall of France, but before the invasion of the Soviet Union. And now if it's after the fall of France, even before Deputy Führer Hess goes to England, he's actually sort of demoted in a way. Well, maybe not so much demoted, but he's still Deputy Party Führer. But Goering is placed above everybody else as basically the number 2 guy to Hitler, and his successor, because he's thought by Hitler to be the best National Socialist military leader, because now that they're at war, and he wants somebody to, mainly because if he's killed, he wants somebody who can take over for the Nazis. Now, would Goring have invaded the Soviet Union? I don't know that he would have. That was something I'd have to think on, and whatnot.
If I remember correctly, Goering was actually fairly. Well, he was a self-serving bastard, but I think, but as such, and from what people generally seem to be fairly against war, so I'm actually not sure if he would attack or even really seriously think about it.
Right. But that would still be a Nazi regime that's still at war with Britain, and so we could, and I'd love to, if I was ever actually going to build a mod or a thing that would go down that path, talk to people about Goering, talk to people about, who else around, who else is in the power vacuum. Mark Felton has interesting series on Valkyrie. Yeah, I'm sort of, I like some of Mark Felton's stuff. Some of the stuff I don't like so well. But again, Valkyrie is to me it is uninteresting so much that it is so late in the war. It changes a few choices maybe, but really it's just an attempt to be able to appease the West and continue the war in the East. Get the West to we'll give up Holland and France.
I have returned.
Good. Give up Holland,
Greetings,
France,
Greggy.
Belgium, and all those territories, but let us keep fighting. At least that's my understanding. Keep fighting to keep the Soviets from conquering Germany. And so,
pretty much that.
Right.
That like the part of it was a mixture of a kind of a humanitarian thing.
Yep. There is that element
like,
to it.
Like we need to like stop what they're doing with like the Jews.
Yeah, there is that element too, but.
And part of it is we need to do at least something, even if it fails, in order to pretty much kind of have our conscience clear before
the end, yes,
the world. And
yes.
Then the final was pretty much try to appease the Western allies and pretty much come to like an agreement where they will stop Soviet encroachment on Central and Eastern Europe.
Yeah, which is delusional, but still they're trying it. But yeah, and so and so you could easily have scenarios that that are what ifs, that are realistic, like Soviet Union is not invaded. So how would that war have gone? Let's presume for the moment that Goering is going to make reasonably decent choices as high commander, and he's going to let the generals fight the Western war and the admirals, fight the Western, the sea war and whatnot. Whether Goering is going to then push for a new sea lion or whatnot, but would Stalin have attacked at some point?
Possibly, maybe.
Meaning if there's a stalemate between Britain and Germany, and if is America if Japan attacks America in 41, with Germany not have started an invasion against the Soviet Union in 41, and let's presume there is no Soviet invasion in 41, would Japan have attacked America? Because or if they did, would Goering's Germany have declared war on America? So you might have just seen an American-Japanese war and a British-German war going on for, however long. And so those kinds of what-ifs would interest me. And not restoring the Kaiser or in 1936, even a democratic or a Soviet Germany. Those things to me are just gobbledygook fantasy, and are of uninterest. Yeah, I would, because being a YouTuber and wanting to please the audience, I'm not saying I wouldn't play the game. But they just don't really get me fired up. Like Goering is, when there's still big decisions to be made.
been an interesting 24 hours, by the way,
Yes.
in the world.
We're not, I mean, not that you can't mention it, but we're not going into talking about it just for demonetization reasons and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know,
Maybe at the stream, perhaps?
yeah, oh yeah, we can talk about it in Discord or something. I just think it's maybe a
Yeah.
little more appropriate
I would
there.
love
I'm
to-
very
it's
willing to talk
interesting,
about
let's
it.
put it at that.
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yes. It's just I don't need this stream demonetized.
Yeah, I get you.
Because I could start
Are you trying
ranting
to-
and raving.
Yeah.
We know you,
It's just-
gamer. We know how you think
I,
about
st-
it.
I still
that's
love
okay.
how when I used to edit the Hearts of Iron videos, I knew how to edit it because I just looked at the audio time frame,
Right.
and there was like, I just looked when there was most activity, and that's when you were ranting.
Himmler's brain, and yeah, and so there's a lot of struggles within the National Socialist regime that we just for the moment we're presuming Goering is actually in charge and not just a puppet or whatever. What if Himmler's in charge, or what if Hess, who was very powerful with, people don't realize, and I've only sort of scratched the surface of it, but he was the party boss. Hess, he controlled, the national,
Oh, we did well, guys.
the National Socialist Party with an iron fist. So, and now publicly he was a very popular dude because he was sort of the guy who introduced Hitler's speeches, and so he was jovial and nice. But when there was conflicts between Gauleiters and other things, and different organizations within the National Socialist regime, he was the one that was the hammer coming down on these people. So how would his regime look, or how would Goebbels' regime look? Those kinds of things, or a coalition of two of those people, or something like that. That could easily do things. And the big thing I wonder about is what does, and I'll use the term correctly, what does a post-Stalin regime look like? Taking into the one account is that Germany, even if it's victorious, knows it cannot occupy, and even Hitler talks about some of the stuff, does not intend to occupy all of the Soviet Union. So there's going to be some, and it's too big to really just, a Reich Protectorate or what, a Reich Commissariat all the way across the Soviet Union. There's going to be something that is sort of like a Vichy France or a Weimar Germany or some sort of, post, or may not even be something that goes to peace. It may stay at war. But what is a post? Is it going to be a, and Trotsky's dead by this time. Dino, button hit. There you go.
Sorry, I thought I had already done it.
Yeah, no problem. Is it going to be a Soviet state? Is it going to be, new imperial Russia? Is it going to be a fascist state, but it's an anti-Nazi fascist state because
Should we go for A?
Okay, I'll go for A. Just because.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'll go for A. Because they hate German partial occupation of Russia, but do they go what is a de facto fascist, but an anti Italian anti-German state? What does that look like? That to me is a sort of a fascinating unknown. Yeah, how they treat the Slavs, but that would keep any sort of regime from a non-occupied area regime, as maybe I should say, from even if they have a political ideology similar to the Germans, from being in alliance with the Germans. Yeah, well, yeah, he Rudolf Hess was very popular amongst the people. Again, he was, the sort of warm up act for Hitler, and so he was thought to be relatively good looking, thought to be well spoken. Um, so that is how he was seen, and he had a lot of power within the party. Yes, the very red. Targets pushing up. Stupidly, probably, but I'm pushing up. That dangerous one. Yeah, so you're just a big M6. You're not that dangerous. Oh, but the guy down the railway track, or maybe this is what killed me. Oh, he's hiding behind rocks, but down that path. So be careful.
Oh, it's a big guy. Bounce on him.
And another what if
Ah, nice gun breaches out.
that could be explored is
Thank you.
what if Churchill does not become prime minister?
Yeah, what if he did have an accident in New York, right, with a taxi cab?
Yeah, but I'm thinking more because there was he was one of three people in the room. It was Chamberlain, Lord Halifax, and Churchill. And because of sort of personal body dynamics, when Chamberlain asks Halifax and Churchill who should be prime minister, Churchill turns away and looks out the window, waiting for Halifax to respond, and then that sort of decided it in Churchill's favor. But what if the decision, for whatever reason, and I'm sure that as personalities go, Halifax was more well liked by Chamberlain than Churchill, who was Chamberlain's, thorn in his side. Remember Halifax, who had spent the night a few times at Karen Hall, with Goering, he thought a good relation with Goering. Not that he was pro-Nazi, it's just like, personal diplomatic kind of things. And would, if you design a war, conditions that if the Atlantic War gets bad enough, and if Alexandria falls or something like that, well, then Britain, under Halifax, Britain is willing to negotiate a surrender at that point. Hey, ZZ, Gamer, and everyone.
Hey, Gigi.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Churchill and the private group, the Focus, are an interesting theory. Okay, I don't know about the private group, the Focus. I know about the Right Circle and some of the other fascist / National Socialist groups in Britain, but I don't right offhand know the Focus, unless I know it by a different name. Oh, wrong colors are up. Because, Hitler, I think, very much comes to the conclusion that Britain isn't invadable. Britain is actually something that he would like to see continue as a colonial power. So, yeah, Britain might lose, Malta and Alexandria to Italy in a, I don't know if you want to, not so much a surrender, but a peace negotiation. And then that, so it's not a completely disarmed Britain. It's not a an occupied Britain, but it is a Britain that is out of the war for now, whatever that means. And does what does Japan do? Does Hitler's Germany, now that they have peace, which is this I would say is very likely, now that they have peace with Britain, give 6 months, a year, or some sort of time frame, invade the Soviet Union? So how does a a wary Britain sitting peacefully watching Germany and Soviet go after each other, does Japan then attack Britain and America in the Pacific, and Germany stay out of that war, allowing Britain to fight alongside of the Americans against the Japanese, while he fights the Soviets? How does that look, and what does that eventually bring about? So those things would be fascinating. Oh, they're also dubbed. I have to announce the council. Very good. To be against peace and get America involved. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know much about that particular group, but yes, Churchill is constantly trying to get America into the war. I think he knows that America is required for Britain to actually defeat the Germans. They might be able to continuously hold on, but to defeat the Germans, they need the Americans. Okay. I gotta go. I'll be right back. Just a minute. It's back. You still there?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Okay. From 1776 to bailing them out into. Well, you're forgetting the War of 1812, in which the British burned the American Capitol building, not the city. It was still under. The city was under
White House.
construction. Yeah, the White House. It was lived in at the time, but not fully completed. So yes, there was that conflict. Out of the U.S. cities, towns, have you visited outside the U.S.? Which is your most memorable favorite game? Well, I don't know. Edinburgh is very memorable. I lived there for less than 6 months, but I lived there for quite some time. It's a mix of not so much medieval, more Renaissance stone through Georgian stone built buildings. There was one nearby where I was, glass modern, not a huge skyscraper, but a tower thing, but very few of those. That's very memorable. I like being there. My visits to London were very favorable, and I like that as well. Now this was back in the 90s, so I don't know what London is like today, but I like that. Outside of the U.S. has really, for me, only been into Europe, not Asia or Africa or someplace like that. I'd love to go to those places, but just haven't. I got the song "The Battle of New Orleans" drilled into my mind about that war. Yes. There's one movie about that battle that is actually, there's two movies about that battle, remake, that is somewhat fanciful, both of them, but get down. I got shot from somewhere else. I like the movies. There's actually a John Wayne movie about the post after going home, after the Battle of New Orleans. What is it? Laurel and Hardy. Which was the fat one?
Hardy.
Yeah. It was starring John Wayne and Hardy.
The one with the big belly.
Yeah. It's not a Laurel and Hardy movie at all. It's not like that. He definitely he plays a character who's wisecracking. It isn't like a comedy at all, but he's sort of the wisecracking sidekick to John Wayne. Okay, I'm done. The sun is in my eyes. I can't hardly identify targets here. Oh, yeah. See the muzzle blast. Charlton Heston played a very good Andrew Jackson in one of the movies. Yes, The Fighting Kentuckian. That's it. I know the names of the movies. I just haven't mentioned them. Fighting Kentucky, and the other two are The Buccaneer. The color remake is starring Yul Brynner as Jean Lafitte the pirate, and Um, Charlton Heston is Andrew Jackson. The original black and white version has Frederick March as John Lafitte, and I forget who plays Andrew Jackson. But yes, the Fighting Kentuckian. It's basically on their march home. Events happen, and John Wayne falls in love with the girl, kind of thing. On the, after the Battle of New Orleans. Yes, I like old movies. So I think everybody has been around for a while, but if there's somebody new out there, whether on Twitch or YouTube, remember to subscribe or follow the channel, please. And there's also a link to our Discord server up right now on both of those things, so you can hang out with us other times, as well as not just now when we're live. And I say us because there's a bunch of people there. Made after 1984. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of modern movies. Once in a while there's a good one, but much lower profile, although I'm still looking into the sun. See him. See him. Move up a bit. Well, a lot about helicopter grind in War Thunder. Well, I just don't care because I just, rarely play anything above or that gets me into helicopters, and just
Got one down once with a whirlwind.
Yeah, and
Gave me a lot of points.
once in a while playing 7.7s that get 8.7s or whatever up to your that are a helicopter, but I just don't. It's not my thing. That it's bad or wrong to have those things. It just.
But it is illegal.
It is illegal? Wow,
Yeah,
hello.
of course it's illegal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't be having helicopters.
Does the game have a mode where you aren't fighting random nations? At times it does. At times it does. We formed TeamG as the squadron here in War Thunder to play the World War mode, which is mostly historical World War II conflicts. And that's really good, though they haven't been doing those recently, so we haven't been playing those. So, not that much.
Play simulator battles, gamer. Sim uses realistic lineups.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. One, of course, I just don't want to remove my bushes.
Oh yeah, I know. But the
Just
option is there.
yeah. There's that option.
The simulator is arguably the hardest game mode in the game.
Yeah.
I actually
Hey,
kind
Alando,
of
you're
like
way behind the
simulation.
target. Lead it more.
I'm not good at it, but I actually really like it, like because people actually like genuinely communicate often,
Yeah.
and you actually do things like, all right, let's advance, let's see where actually scouts, let's see where there's the enemy, right?
Yeah, and I'm not anti it. I've only played it a few times, and to a point, it's almost as if I would rather play something like Hell Let Loose,
Oh, that's awesome.
or the whatever they call the postscriptum nowadays, and
Squad
have
44.
Squad 44.
Squad 44, and have a tank crew, and go. If we're gonna go that realistic, let's sort of go that realistic, and do that, and whether
That's again, that's something even more like complex. And there you have like one tank, maybe two also, whereas there's more like you have a bunch of tanks that like coordinate with one another.
yeah, and that.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of Squad 44, Jan Smitty just booted that shit up.
Yes, I saw that.
Coincidence?
What?
Has Jan been in chat, or is he
I
just
don't
truly
know.
coincident? I know he was here earlier. I mean, way earlier, but he hasn't spoken in quite some time. If he's still here. But yeah, I like to see more tank. Sometimes we've played and can't even get into a tank.
Yeah.
More tank on tank battles. No, actually, I think ships are good in War Thunder to me. I normally played
play it game.
nobody wants to watch it, so I've told you a lot of times, if you find me on a Wednesday,
I know, gamer, just joking.
I'll get in and happily play some naval with you. But it's the live streams, everybody goes away. There's no point in doing a live stream if nobody's going to watch it.
That's true.
I get, and just play something you love, gamer. Yeah, and I do, but also
that's also true.
Why play something that is just going to be nothing? No viewers. Right about like that.
I personally enjoy World of Warships' naval a little bit more than War Thunder's naval.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue the point because I really don't know World of Warships, but to me, I don't know if I really want to grind a different game.
Here's how I see it. War Thunder has a great naval battle system, but the thing is, it's not as action-packed as World of Warship is. So, whilst I do enjoy playing War Thunder Naval, it doesn't give the same thrill as a match of World of Warships does.
Right, and I can definitely see that.
The way I see it, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, not to mention, World of Warships has just done a collaboration with Star Trek.
Yep.
Lovely.
Yes, I love Star Trek.
I'm just sad they stopped making Star Trek a long time ago.
It's very sad.
Yeah, the good Star Trek at least.
Well, no. Just because they hang the name Star Trek on something doesn't make it Star Trek.
That's what I said, the good Star Trek.
I know you're saying but...
I feel like the last good Star Trek was Enterprise.
Yeah, I would say that was
Which
the
one?
last.
The Archer one or the?
Yeah, Archer.
Yeah, the Archer one.
Yeah, Enterprise. Yeah, the series Enterprise. Yeah, ships are pretty slow. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do warships that in War Thunder fast, you want to go the coastal and with the torpedo boats and those kinds of things. If you want to go, and I have seen some video of World of Warships where they're much more action packed with big ships. So if you want to do action packed big ships, yeah. But for me,
do historical things with it.
Yeah,
not really.
Battle of Santa
Half
Cruz,
the World of Warships fleets
Battle of
are
Java
paper
Sea.
ships.
yeah. I tried enlisted for a bit, but I think it's by the same publisher, but it's basically dead. I have little or no interest in enlisted anymore.
Yeah, they killed the game.
I liked it.
Yeah,
but
it had a
it's-
decent premise, but I never really got to where I like those squads. I just
You want to do a Tiger Squad now?
okay, we'll do Tiger. I'm gonna come in Tiger.
The thing with the game is, the problem is they expect it to have the same kind of unforgiving community that War Thunder has when it comes to their microtransactions. The problem is they just don't have that in enlisted because people haven't slowly but surely been pulled into it like with War Thunder, and then when they're deep they can't pull out because they've spent so much money on the game that it will be a loss of investment if they stop playing. So that's why that game died, because they tried to push even more, and Retarded Enough made the game like, what was it, $20 or something when they wanted to push it onto Steam, when they needed players so critically, so like desperately needed players, and they decide to shoot them in themselves in the head like that.
Yeah.
So
and
so
with all
the game is gone.
With all the money that I put into War Thunder, if there was truly a better game that was comprehensive World War II tanks, doing something sort of like this, I would abandon War Thunder. But it needs to be it would need to be significantly better, and that also whatever. But if it's just a teeny bit better or a teeny bit this, whatever, I'm sticking with War Thunder because I have invested that money, like you're talking about, and time.
War Thunder is struggling from a severe case of no competitors.
Yes, absolutely. Which also actually makes the game a bit worse because it doesn't have.
Totally. It's not being. It's not evolving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not pushing to actually improve the game.
Yeah, they're not innovating at all.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yes.
They don't need to. Why would they?
And so it's both. They don't have any challengers, so yeah, we're staying. At least for me, I know some of you guys burn out on it periodically, and I understand. But they're a single person tank driving game. World War II. To my knowledge, I've yet to find anything as good as War Thunder. So I'm sticking to it. But yeah, I wouldn't like destroy my account or any crazy thing like that. But I would just abandon it and go to a different system if it was good enough, better.
Yeah.
Now, of course, War Thunder then might respond and make a better game themselves.
The thing is War Thunder doesn't have any active development team anymore. Basically, they're outsourcing everything, which is really sad because it really feels like it's they're basically at like a maintaining.
That's how games end up dying.
Yeah. Because now they're not innovating; they're maintaining.
Yes.
Right.
I will,
so they're not.
Or at least their innovations are adding things like helicopters.
Yeah, they tried with World War mode, which I enjoyed. That was like a breath of fresh air to the game.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I think I could get a bunch of TeamG back for World War mode battle.
Yeah, if we ever do World War mode again, I'm planning on designing medals so I can ship out to people that participate as well, like IRL medals.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. So yes, I'm not saying every single person who's joined TeamG would come back for it, but a bunch who are not, I would say maybe like Lum or somebody might come back for a World War mode, but isn't going to come back for this current thing. So yeah. Oh, there he is.
It's only if they that's only if they set it in a World War II setting. I feel.
Yeah,
I would probably
yeah.
be more inclined to do a World War II theme than a non-World War II theme. I would love to see like a an early Japan-Russia war.
Well,
with
what I would say would be an exception if they do it right would be an Arab-Israeli war.
Oh yeah, interesting.
You know, because you have the sort of the Soviet tank being used by the Israelis. You know, do lineups that match that versus the Israeli tanks. I think that would be something that would interest me.
Yeah, I'd probably join that as well. I don't. It doesn't have to be World War II, but it's more. I think the more World War II, the better I'm gonna feel it.
Oh, well, me too. But I'm just trying to think of other things that would interest me.
Yeah,
because there were some great tank battle type stuff out in the Sinai Desert that I think.
Yeah, I really miss when I actually used to enjoy War Thunder.
Yeah.
It's something I wish I still had.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like African campaigns. This is rarely touched on, but too grindy. Yeah.
Like with Toyjet, remember when we decided to start grinding the French tree together, like stuff like that, or the Japan tree when we went with the Igo the starter, like the big boys, and that shit was so fun, like actually enjoyable. But I don't know if
the game was better back then.
Yeah, much better. It was in a much better state.
Yeah.
No, it's probably not good. Me and Toyjet not playing isn't going to do anything to its,
No.
We're insignificant, but
Now, why did the Starship Troopers game? I'm blanking on the name right now.
Helldivers.
Yeah, why did it die?
Well, the thing is they tried. PlayStation, not the developers.
Helldivers still has a pretty good player base, though. All in all,
it does. It's just
it seemed to be a flash in the pan. I'm not saying it doesn't have a.
Most of those games are like that, but the thing that's different with Helldivers is now they have a consistent player base. It's not going down, 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 down. It was high, then it went down to what it's like, average players are, and then it's staying there. And it's really still a great game.
Yeah.
So
the thing I love about Helldivers is in part of it, at least, is the interaction the studio has with the community.
Players. Oh yeah, easily.
Because they show that they really care about the player base they have.
Yep.
Okay.
Imagine if War Thunder had that same sort of transparency with the players.
The only good thing about fucking Gaijin is whoever controls the social media on the English Twitter page.
That's where it stops.
That's a fucking unpaid intern, I'm certain, but yeah.
I get paid this week. I'm happy. I survived Toyjet the month without any money, basically.
You did.
Yes, I did. Let's go.
Good learning experience.
Yeah. And I hosted the TeamG meetup in Norway.
Cool. That's cool. That's cool. Wow.
I enjoyed it. We watched a lot of movies at my place as well. We watched the Civil War movie as well.
Which Civil War movie? Gettysburg?
Just the recent one, just called Civil War from A24.
Oh, that one. Yes, that one.
The shitty one. It was so insignificant that the day after, I forgot we had watched it.
Well, it has not made a real dent here.
Was that bad, Eric?
Yeah, it was so
I wasn't even thinking of that as a possibility when you said Civil War movie. I was
exactly.
I was wondering if it was Glory or Gettysburg or some other.
I've seen Glory.
Yeah, some other good movie that on the American Civil War. But yesterday,
because I just wanted to watch it. So
yeah, that's cool. I went with a friend on a road trip down to Phoenix for the gun show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good test, including testing my air conditioner, and it worked. Because it was like
Nice.
113 degrees outside.
Jeez.
That's more
And-
than 7.
Yeah. I gotta mentally prepare myself when I go down there. It's
Well, it depends. Yeah, it's not that bad here, because that's almost down at sea level, where I'm up at 5,000 plus feet. So, you know, I'm a mile high. I know you don't know what a mile is.
Yeah.
But,
what the fuck is a mille? Sorry.
right.
You'd be like that.
T-34, great film. Don't know that I've seen that, Kronos.
I've seen it. But me and Toyjet watched it
yeah,
together.
no,
T-34.
T-34 is such
Don't watch
blatant
it.
Russian propaganda. T-34
Yeah.
and,
Please don't
fucking-
watch it.
and
It's
White
bad.
Tiger. Don't
It
get me
has
wrong,
good-
they're well made, but goddamn, it is so, so
It has
very.
good visual effects. Great visual
Oh yeah,
effects.
actually well made, but they really are like fucking glory to the Soviet Union, the
Hoorah.
undefeatable spirit of communism and all that.
There's a French tank heading for A.
Hey,
Roger, dropping audio on it.
Yeah, I understand, Elizabeth.
the French.
Disgusting, the French.
Ah,
But the guy I went with is part of my Bren crew, so I had all
yeah?
this. I had all the stuff out still that you saw the picture of.
Yeah, what did you say?
Oh, he liked the stuff. Yeah. So
You say it came from Norway, though.
yeah. Oh yes, yes. I didn't
Oh,
use your
dude, that's
name
cool.
because it
No.
wouldn't mean anything to him. But yeah, I know. I said my buddy there, and I also at the gun show, just walking around, I met the guy who I bought the Bren gun from.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to him for a few minutes. He was, walking around. I told him I got a bunch of those little metal cleaning screens, and he's going to come by and pick one up, so that he has
Nice.
like a sample to be able to make some for himself.
Yep.
Did you see any money?
Yeah, probably a couple. Now, unfortunately, and I get sick of these people. They have guns that are, in my opinion, obviously for sale, but maybe they're not really. They don't have prices on them, and I was looking at several, like 2 Krag carbines at different locations, and they look like carbines and not, butchered. Oh, there's a bot over on Twitch when you get time. I don't know.
Can I ban people?
Well, we could.
Like,
Are you a mod on Twitch? And if you can ban the bot.
I can, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a mod on Twitch. That's the thing.
Oh well, we can make you a mod on Twitch. I have to give you a job.
Yeah. Because when Arno's in game,
Right.
it's hard to moderate.
You know the exact. Yes, I have a Mark II. Elizabeth, I have a Mark II Bren in 303. I'm not going to say it's fully functional in that it is not fully automatic. It is a semi-automatic Bren gun. They're like somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 to buy a fully automatic Bren gun. I paid nowhere near that, but it is a Bren gun that the receiver had been cut, and if you look carefully, you can see where it has been re-welded together. But it is that, and if you guys want to see it, you can go to Elizabeth or whoever can look. It should be in the description of this video, a invite link to Discord, and then scroll down to the showroom under the guns, and you'll see and scroll up a little bit from the bottom, and you'll see a couple photos of the Bren gun and all the gear.
Bren.
Most of the gear, Eric got me, but and I even have the tripod for it. It's not in the photo,
I've got
but
him.
tripod for the Bren, and a bunch of magazines, 2 spare barrels. So, yeah, really cool. So right now
Even
we're.
the crate.
Yep, I got an original. Well, Eric has my original crate still with him, and I and I have a a modern made travel crate here. Go ahead and stop for today. Okay, Kronos. So I don't know if any of you guys want to jump in, but now I'm going to be stopping in about half an hour myself, because at in an hour and a half I'm going to start a 2-hour live stream for Slytherin Panzer Corps on their Twitch channel.
Is it the Polish one?
No, that is not yet ready. War Stories for Poland, but what I'm going to be playing is the North Africa campaign, continuing it from where I left off. Well, yeah, the Polish, they had an interview with the two devs. What they're continuing, they have two different dev studios now for War Thunder, but for Panzer Corps 2. One dev studio is doing front lines, the other is doing war stories. The current near completed
Of course, someone is coming.
War Stories is Poland. The current front lines is Battle of the Bulge. The next front line coming is going to be
Netherlands.
It's going to be the west, breaching the West Wall. So I think more done in Germany, but it's late war Americans against the Germans. And then they mentioned, I think, what the next War Stories. Oh, Grand would be cool. I don't have one of those yet. I thought about getting one from the CMT program, but I think you can mail order one. But I sort of going to go look at it. But all of the shops, the shops that run the program are east of the Mississippi, so it'd be a long drive.
Mississippi?
Yes. The Mississippi River. Oh, somebody got him.
RD on B.
Yeah.
Oh, there he comes again, gamer.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion on joining a gun club? Think it's worth it? Well, I've actually tried to join my local gun club, but I think I was told that there's like a 150 person wait in front of me, and somebody's shooting me, not just Arno, I think.
No.
And I would gladly pay to join the gun club here because it's limited numbers. They don't want too big of a group. But yeah, if it's a good way to meet people. I've got the guns and I've got a pair of holsters, and I'm thinking of actually joining a cowboy action shooting organization. There's two of them up around where I am now in my secret mountain base. One, well, they allow modern guns into it, and I just don't like that. And I like the guy. I met the guy who runs the club, and he's very nice. So he'll allow double action revolvers so long as people are shooting them in single action only and whatever. And his excuse is try to get more people into the hobby. And the other group, they mainly are at the range that I can't be a member of. So,
Why?
well, because
Waitlist.
there's already too many members, and maybe being a member of the Cowboy Action Shooting might jump me further along. Hello, Joseph Gonzo, how you doing? Yes, along into it, but I can go shoot at that range that the gun club is closed to new membership during an official event, but coming and practicing there, off times would not be allowed unless I'm being, invited by a member. Because I did go, actually, the guy who I got the Bren gun is a member of the club, and he invited me to come and test fire the Bren before I bought it. So yeah, I can get in if someone is escorting me and coming in with me or whatever, but I can't go on my own. Okay, I'm going to go south. You guys do what you want. I only have a P1, but it's a friend. Ah, yes. We post-war. Lithuania is pretty lax on our guns. Well, cool. Yes. I believe the P1, the Walther, right? What I would call a P38. I believe that's called a P1 in some circles. Walther. Yeah. I believe that's the gun you're talking about. I don't own one of those.
You don't have a Walther?
What?
You don't have a Walther?
Not a P38. I got a PP.
You have a Luger?
I got 2 Lugers. I got a PP.
Show me.
Well, when you come out here sometime. I got a PPK I recently bought in 22 caliber post-war. Though I do the Walther PP I have is late war German production. Yes, Walther P38. Yes, good. Thought so, Elizabeth. So yeah.
Can't wait to get my first Krag though. It's gonna be good. My first actual firearm. Let's go, boy. Or my first.
One you're gonna have ammo for it. Yeah, you're gonna have ammo for it. Yeah.
I hope Toyjet will join me to the range and try it out. Toyjet.
No, you don't. It's fun to try. Yeah.
Are you going to tape it?
Tape it? I'm probably not gonna film at the start. People kind of weird, joining a range and film it at the start. I think that might be a bit.
Yeah, no, probably... Eric, it's good to do it at some point, Eric, but yeah, not the first few days.
No, not saying the first time, but
it's only open once a week as well, or like the range is only open like twice a week or something. So the rifle range that is.
Yeah, so, Eric, you should probably go shooting a few times before you invite Toyjet along, and.
Oh yeah.
Get the lay of the land, get everyone knowing you before you bring a buddy along, and then
that's the plan.
Because
Alonso, you're right there.
Toyjet sort of smells funny, so you got to get people used to it.
He looks crazy too.
It's all the salt water in my natural habitat.
Right. So yeah, but yeah, just get settled first, then then bring Toyjet in. Oh, Eric, I haven't actually got it in my possession. Oh, you can get Carcano ammo, Elizabeth?
Yeah, 6.5.
Well, you can get it. Priv Partisan makes it. I think it's PRVI, Partisan, whatever. I'm pretty sure they make it, or they do production runs of it. I don't know that these are like always in production, but like once a year they'll make a million rounds or whatever the number is of various older ammos. So yeah, you can and if and it's a European company that makes it, I'm pretty sure that they're European. And maybe seller below, of what is it? Czechoslovakia, Hungary, I forget which one. May also make it. And I know Fiocchi, I don't know if it did Carcano, but they used to do more historic, what I think is what they called it, production runs of ammos. Yeah, oh, well, ammo is so expensive nowadays. Now, I'm shooting mostly partisan for my 303, the Bren gun, and it's running $1 around here when I can buy it in bulk.
Don't you make your own ammo, gamer?
Not yet. I'm going to,
Aww.
but not yet.
Found some good dies for a 6.5 Krag. It was like $30 for the dies, but it wasn't too bad.
Good.
But it was called like Lee. I don't know if that's like a platform
Lee,
or something.
Yeah, that's one of the manufacturers.
Okay. So it was a Lee die set.
Yeah. I just don't know much about reloading at all, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn, and I'm going to use Dylan products, partially because they're here in Arizona. Sort of buying local, get local advice. I mean, they're not in my city, but they're, around.
Yeah, actually true. Yeah, now that I have my gun license, I can actually buy gunpowder as well.
Yeah.
But not black powder, because that's the different thing. So. Oh, you got Mustanged. Double Mustanged.
Yeah.
Some might call it a twin Mustang.
A Mama's Titang?
Back to ZZ's question. Shooting has become more expensive. Guns, gun accessories, ammo. It's just all, like I said, I was at the gun show, and I was having a bit of sticker shock even after buying and looking at stuff at Gunbroker. What some of these people were. They were I don't know if you guys know what a Draco is. It's a cut down AK. There's a Draco Mini and a Draco Minor. There's 3 versions. They were wanting for the micro like $1,000. I think they list for like 600.
It's because of all the gang members.
Yeah, but still, it's. And maybe the standard one was more like 800, but the standard Draco. So yeah, it's all getting pricey.
Found some really nice like Mausers here for sale for like $100 to $200.
And you used to be able to get like 8mm Mauser for like 5 cents a round. Surplus ammo.
We dream of those days, yes.
Yeah, and there are tales, real, not just mythical, but real tales of people who had like Max, because people that really made Maxim machine guns popular, so cheap. And they would literally get an 18-wheeler to pull up to their barn or whatever, and unload it full of 8mm Mauser. Get a lifetime supply kind of thing.
Excuse me. My connection just died, and I think I'm going to actually use this to quit in general because I haven't eaten anything for dinner yet.
Okay. Well, like I say, I'm gonna in one way or another. I'm packing it up in about 15 minutes. So.
Not already.
Well, we'll see how long this map takes, and We may just pack it in, Arno.
No.
But you can come out and hang out with me in an hour or so as I play Panzerclub.
Yeah.
I will be there. Yes.
So, see you.
If you can drop Arnie on A. An open topped M18 coming for it.
Nope, not close enough. Yeah, ZZ. Also, stay away from, wargaming, because wargaming figures are also expensive.
Mm-hmm. Get a resin 3D printer.
It's an old joke that if you want to keep your kids away from drugs, get them into wargaming, and they won't be able to afford the drugs. Yeah. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the prices, and I used to be a shooter, guys. I know some of you know this. I used to, in the deep dark path, would shoot 50 rounds a day, 5 days a week. 1 day a week, I would shoot 200 rounds. Pistols, but different ones. Now, sometimes I was just, I would maybe shoot. Normally, it was 50 rounds of 9mm. Box of 9mm, and that Blazer ammo, which they still make it, and still make it the way it was cheap because it had a aluminum case, single-use aluminum case. So I would just go to the range, blast my 50 rounds, not like as fast as I could or anything, but just go through it and just got good.
Gamer was a high-speed operator back in the day.
And to be good, you just got to shoot a lot. There's no substitute for that. None of these. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see this stuff now being advertised, and I've seen other things before. Some little thing that you put in your gun that sort of shoots a bullet-like thing that you put in your gun that shoots a laser beam at the target and whatnot when you do it. And it doesn't cycle the gun. It's not like a recoil. Yeah, that's nice, and it helps, but it doesn't replace actual shooting. Okay, guys, I think we will be ending this now. So
one more?
No, it could just be me and you, Arno, and not that you're not cool, but I got the time here.
No, I'm offended.
Yes, good. He's offended. We finally offended the Dutch guy. We've been trying all these years. So I want to thank VZ, Elizabeth, Joseph. Who else is maybe still around?
Me.
So I think yes. Well, we'll get to and Felipe. I'm going through the chat first because they're important. Bum. Yeah, thank all of you, and of course, thanks Arno, Dino, and Kronos for playing with me, and Eric and Toyjet for just hanging out. Do appreciate it, everyone. See you.
Support Norwegians.
Yeah, see you next Saturday. I should be playing, more.
Hearts of Iron?
No, probably more Strategic Command.
No, Hearts of Iron 4.
Are you doing more Mana Lords, or is it?
Oh yeah, Mana Lords.
Maybe I could do. Just because I don't know that I want to start a Ohoi 4 game right now, and there's more of my reluctance there. But yeah, maybe Mana Lords could be done. I think there's maybe been an update to the engine. I can check and see if it's worth coming back for. Improvements. And then of course War Thunder next weekend. So, but everybody, if you want to join me again in approximately an hour and 15 minutes, I'll be over on the Slitherine Twitch channel, Fighting in the Desert. So thanks everyone. See you guys later.